Hello and good morning. Joyce Edison here, and welcome to the Wiz This Is Release Show. Are you looking to release dis-ease from your mind or your body today? Your life, there's something in your life that's causing you dis-ease. Is there a decision you know you need to make, but you just can't make it? You feel compelled to just sit on it and not do it. The things you need to do, you're not doing it. The things you need to be, you not need to be doing, you find yourself doing. Where are you at, and what's causing dis-ease? So I want to invite you to just step back and write the thoughts that are coming to your mind. What are the thoughts that are coming to your mind right now? What are you feeling? What are the thoughts that's generating the feeling? If you're having a feeling right now, if you're feeling any sense of disease about anything in your body, your life, your relationship, your workplace, it is coming from a thought. And when I do the emotional wellness cleanse, the idea behind that, the purpose of the emotional wellness cleanse is to get us to a place where we recognize the emotions are a sign. Your emotions are a sign of something that you need to pay attention to. I think when God created us, I've made man so perfectly in my image, and they are going to be exposed to so much. And he knew we were going to live in a time like this where we have so much information coming at us, and so much everywhere you turn. Somebody wants something, needs something. You have to do something a year ago, 2 years ago. You're asking yourself, why didn't I do this 5 years ago? Why didn't I? And you know what? You don't have 5 years ago. What you have is now. So you need to stop and ask yourself, what do I need to do now? And what can I start doing now that will in 5 years be the results that I want? So if you have a goal and you see, if you're on social media where most people spend their time and you see other people doing things and you want to do those things, you need to ask yourself, if I want to do those things, what do I need to do? And if I want to do those things, why do I want to do them? What is my why? We need to really go back and ask ourselves, what's our motivator? Why do we want to do the things we want to do? What results do we want to get? And how is it going to change our life? Sometimes we do a lot of things that don't change our life. It doesn't change who we are. It doesn't change our life for the better. We just do it for the moment because it's exciting where everybody else is doing it. I love people who knows what they want and know how to get it and prepared to take the steps to get what they want for the right reason. Too often we're doing things for the right reasons. So back then I was talking about how I think we were created for a time like this, and the creator knew that we were going to live in this time where people were so busy they didn't have time to even think about the thoughts they're having. We're not even aware of the thoughts we're having. We're having these feelings, and all we're doing is feeling. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to turn it upside down. We're going to look at feelings. What are you feeling? And then we're going to track it back down to the thoughts. What thoughts are you having? So we're going to do that emotional cleanse. We're going to look at what emotions and feelings are you having right now? What is the trigger? What's the emotional trigger? That's what we're going to start looking at. What is the trigger for those emotions? And once we get the trigger, we're going to go one step further, because you know me, I don't half do things. Everything I do is comprehensive. Once we get the trigger for those emotions, which is going to be the thoughts, because our thoughts control our emotions. So here we are, and if you get a piece of paper, you want to just write down feelings and emotions, right? And then once you start recognizing those feelings and emotions, you draw an arrow down, and you're going to go down, you're going to start thoughts. What thoughts do I have? And then we're going to go down one further, and we're going to do beliefs. What beliefs do I have that's anchoring these thoughts that got me in the place where I am at, feeling the way that I'm doing? So then we're going to go one step further and we're going to say, where is it showing from? So what are the circumstances? What's the where, right? The big why. And so that will get us into the circumstances of what it is that's going on around us that we need to assess. And that's when once we go for this model, then that will prepare us to go into the whiz model, which is, I want you to become a whiz in your life. You gotta be a whiz of your life. If you don't, life is gonna manage you and you're not gonna manage your life. And there are too many people whose life is managing them and they're not managing their life. Hey, let's reverse that. You're supposed to be the master of you. So let's turn that around so you can be the master of your life. You can do the things that needs to be done in your life. You can be aware of the thoughts you're having. And last night I was training my coaches, and one of the things I do in the Wiz Coaching Academy is I'm training our coaches. And as I'm training our coaches on understanding that thought thing, that feeling, right? And it's like, okay, what are you feeling? And what thought are you holding that's really anchoring this feeling? Because if there was nothing for that thought to hold on to, it would just seep through, right? If there is nothing for that thought to hold on to, it would just pop into your head and pop right out. But you have to have an anchoring belief system, right? If there isn't an anchoring belief, that thought would not stick around. It's like pouring water. You see water, it will fall all the way down. Your thoughts are like, if you just close your eyes and envision water just falling from the sky, right? But once it reach a place that there is enough, the ground is no longer porous. Like there is the road, the street, this star, there's a puddle somewhere where it can accumulate. Then you have a puddle, it can grow bigger, you can have a flood, right? You have to have the right environment. But if it's porous and it just seeps right through and it's gone, it's just washed away. But until there is something foundation for it to sit on and start accumulating, it will just seep through. So we have to start recognizing the thoughts are just like raindrops. They come and they go. And until we have a bucket with a foundation where we're going to say, hey, you land here. There is a bucket here. Just accumulate. The thoughts will leave. And when we have that bucket for our thoughts, when we have that bucket, which is the feelings, the belief that we're holding, if we have a belief that is not true, if we have a belief that we believe is true, even if it isn't true, that we perceive to be true, that bucket will force us to pay attention to those thoughts, even if that thought is not good for you. You're going to hold on to that thought, and that thought can ruin your life. Because what that thought is going to do, it's going to trigger your behavior, right? So your thought, which is founded on your belief, is going to trigger your action. So you have to remember that feelings are there to create awareness. So you look at this feelings, and feelings are supposed to give us a clue. The Creator in His magnificence say, I am going to create feelings and emotions. So these incredible human beings that I'm creating are going to pick up on the feelings when they live in this really busy time where they're so busy and overwhelmed. They're going to pick up on their feelings and say, oh, why am I feeling this? I'm having feelings of angry. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling nervousness, I'm feeling anxiety, I'm feeling perplexity. I'm feeling these things. Why am I feeling those things? You remember, listen to my words. I didn't say I am angry or I am upset or I am overwhelmed. I am feeling, right? Your feelings are not you. Your feelings are things you experience. Just like you experience a nice cool drink, you drink that and you experience that. Or you experience the feeling of heat on a nice hot sunny day, or you experience the cool refreshing air of going into an air conditioned building. You don't become that. It's an experience. Right? You experience the feeling of having a really enjoyable meal with your partner. Those are all experiences. They are never ever who you are. And so it's incredibly important for you to remember that. It's incredibly important for you to recognize that. Incredibly important for you to not become your feelings. You have to recognize that your feelings and your emotions are experiences that you have the privilege of going through and encountering and enacting, right? These experiences in your life, you have this wonderful privilege of having these experiences, because you know what? If you were not alive, you would not have the ability to experience them. And it doesn't matter what you're going through right now, whatever you're experiencing right now, it is a privilege because you have breath. The people who are no longer alive do not get to experience that. So that is no reason for you to cop out and say, I'm done with it. I'm done with life. I'd rather be dead. If you ever have that thought or it comes to your mind, you're going to just let it seep right through and get out, because it's like water falling, raindrops falling from the sky. It's not a thought that you're going to anchor with, because you have no belief system that tells you that being dead is better than being alive, because there is nowhere any evidence of that is true. There isn't anywhere that you can come back after you're gone. You only have this one life, and it's so short life. And in this time, you're going to have experiences. None of those experiences are better or worse, or even compared to death. Death is final. You will never ever have an experience. And one of the things we see now, it's so many more people are attempting suicide or committing suicide because they are overwhelmed, they're burnt out, they're stressed. Their mind is diseased. They're having those feelings of disease in their body, in their life, and it's coming from issues in their life. So what we do once we help you to get aware of yourself and connect that this is a feeling and emotion. Secondly, it's driven by a thought. And thirdly, the thought has foundation in a belief system you hold. Then we're going to look in your life to start identifying some of the life and the key life areas and the systems and processes you use in your life. And that's where we go into the WIZ model, right? And the WIZ model is an amazingly intuitive model that we look at it and we start seeing, oh my God, I need to do some work here. This is where it's going. This is where it's coming from. This is what's pulling away of my energy. This is what preventing me from being resilient and having resilient thoughts. There are thoughts that are resilient, right? We can have resilient thought processes, and we can have thought processes that are not resilient. That's weakening us and detracting from our life and pulling us away from living the life we were meant to live. So today I want to encourage you to go through the process. Write down that emotion you're feeling right now. Just write it down. Whatever emotion you're experiencing, write it down. And I want you to draw an arrow down and ask yourself, what thought am I having? So for instance, I'm feeling tired. So what thought is that being anchored into? Right? I'm tired. I'm feeling tired and overwhelmed. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself you're doing too much? Are you telling yourself you have too much on your plate? You need help? Those are the thoughts that's going to help you to feel that you're overwhelmed. Because there are people in your exact situation right now that not having that thought. They're not having that feeling you're having, because what they're saying is like, wow, I'm so glad I'm busy. I have all these things to do. Let me prioritize. And I'm going to also look to see if I can get some help, and I'll talk to so and so and see who else can help me. And I'm going to manage my timeline. I'm going to see what I can prioritize. What should I do first? What can I put, in the back burner, and so forth. So it's about the thoughts we choose to dwell on. If you have a belief system that says you can be overwhelmed, burned out because, when too much comes at you, you don't know what to do and you can't think, that is true. We all have a stress limit, but there are things we can do so we never get to our stress limit, right? If you have a belief system that I am going to be burned out, I'm going to be overwhelmed, this is not good for me. So there's research that shows that with optimism, right? And I teach a webinar, and I teach this for my corporate clients, and sometimes I have it as an open webinar. It's called The Other Side of Stress. And in this webinar, what I teach is how, when you have stress, when things are stressful, when there is, and the whole word stress, I want to start taking it out of our vocabulary. We're too much of this stress. And sometimes people don't even know what stress means anymore. Everything is like, I'm stressed. No, you need to think. You need to start releasing that stress thought. And that the whole thing we do with the With This Ease is a stress release. We're releasing that stress. And I think I might even start taking that word out of all my marketing materials. And it's just like, we're going to release that dis-ease in your mind and in your body. And one of the things, I had about 50 people in the last class I teach on this. And what they were saying they took away from this is that, you know what? We're stressing just about being stressed. So just the thought of I am stressed is causing restrictions of your blood vessels. It's causing you to tense up. It's causing dis-ease in your mind and in your body. So the word stress has such a negative connotation in it that we don't realize that there is good stress. And I teach a whole other course in that, and I will talk about this one time. But it's important for us to recognize that just the notion of stress and telling ourselves that we're stressed, if you have a belief system that you are going to be stressed out, and certain things can stress you out, then you just going to have to see them coming and you start getting stressed. Right? So you're not even giving yourself an opportunity to say, what's happening here? How do I deal with this? You just see the stress. And when you become stressed, you cannot think clearly. You cannot think productively. And what's happening is you are at a place where you're no longer functioning at your optimum. Your unique brilliance is not showing up. Right? You can't activate the brilliance of who you are because stress is overshadowing that. And with With This Ease program, we're releasing that stress and tension by going back and looking, where's this coming from? What is the thought? What's this feeling? What's the thought? What's the belief system that is anchoring? Where's that bucket that's holding it? That's, allowing it to grow and become what it is now. How do I release it from my mind? How do I release it from my body so that I can activate my brilliance? This is critical. Because I see entrepreneurs, like business owners, they get overwhelmed and they're stuck in one place. They can't move forward. And one of the things that I do for my entrepreneurs and business owners, one of the things that they're most stressed on about is cash flow, right? And so I do a cash flow coaching session. It's a, cash flow infusion, and it's really a coaching session on releasing the stress of cash flow in your business. And when they sit here, you know what they tell me? Oh my goodness, I got all these low-hanging fruits. I got all these things I wasn't seeing because all I was thinking about is cash flow. I was thinking about cash flow, but I wasn't thinking about it the right way. I wasn't thinking about what I should do and how I can be strategic about this. And so I was being my worst enemy. And it happens over and over and over again. It's critical for all of us to get our minds away from the thing. Whatever you look at and you spend your time on is what's going to grow. So if you are at a place where you are stuck on things, I had a fight with my husband, he's upset at me, or we're not getting along right now, and all you focus on is that we're not getting along and we're not getting along. what we do with this is we're helping you to start looking at, okay, when did you get along? What was happening when you get along? Where is that feeling is coming from? When you don't get along, what are you feeling? What's the feeling? What are some of the feelings? What are some of the thoughts around that? What's the belief system around your relationship and how you want it to execute? So once we can change the belief system of how you want to be in your life and show up in your life, when those thoughts come, they're just going to seep right through, and they're going to be like water, raindrops. We're going to really, really focus on that, because raindrops, none of us run out and cry when raindrops are falling, right? Raindrops are supposed to fall. And so let the raindrops fall. You know, in my culture, we do the cocoa bean, and we grew up, and you know, the old folks say, you know, if you have cocoa beans outside, you sun your cocoa beans. So when you pick your cocoa beans from the tree and you open the pods and you separate it, then you put it out in a real flat metal or a grass bed or something to get the sunlight, because the sun now preserves the cocoa bean and, you know, toughens up the shell so it can be resilient and it can last for a long time until you're ready to roast it and start using it. And it makes it easier for you to sell it to manufacturers who are going to use it to then create end products and create, you know, or hot chocolate and all the different things that come from the cocoa bean. So the local cocoa bean farmers would be always looking out at the clouds to see, is it going to rain? Because if rain falls on your cocoa bean while it's out, there's a likelihood for it to create mold, right? And then your cocoa bean won't be good. So you might lose some, and it's the process of, you know, keeping it dry. So the whole premise of that is keeping your cocoa beans dry and separate and healthy. So it's resilient, it's preserved, and you can ship it across the world, and it can store for a very long time and get to the manufacturers in a really good, healthy way with no mold on it. So they're always looking for the rain and looking at the clouds and reading the sky. And so those who don't plant cocoa beans are never looking at the sky. Or if they're friends or family or relations to those with cocoa bean planters, they will be helping them looking at the sky, to look at the clouds. So those who are not, so there is the common reference here, those who have cocoa bean outside should be looking for rain. And those who don't have cocoa bean outside are never looking for rain, because it doesn't matter to them if the raindrops fall. But it's the same premise with the belief system. If you have a belief system, when the raindrops fall, when those thoughts come, which is equivalent to the raindrops, you're going to have a bucket for them to go into, and you're gonna start accumulating. And you know, when I grew up, we had this big cisterns that when the rain drop, we collect the rainwater so we can have lots of water to wet the plants and everything like that. But if you don't have the belief system, or you don't have the cistern, or you don't have the raindrops are just gonna fall, and it's just gonna be right there. It's gonna wash away and it's gone. Right? But if you have that belief system, you have that system that's going to hold the raindrops, then you're going to collect it. And it's the same with your thoughts. So if you have those belief systems that's going to hold on to those certain thoughts when they come into your life, they're going to then generate the kind of emotions that you're feeling right now. And those emotions are going to lead to dis-ease in your mind and in your body. And that's going to prevent you from being your best self. That's going to prevent you from doing the things you need to do. And it's going to prevent you from being well. And we know what happens with dis-ease. It causes ill health and diseases in our bodies. So we want to be doing the things we need to be doing, and we want to enjoy our life, and we want to identify the emotions when they come, but we want to track them back to the thought process and the belief system. Because once we've done that, we've won the battle, because now we can decide, okay, based on this, here's the action I'm going to take. Here is the belief I need to rewrite. And sometimes we end up rewriting our entire belief system. right? And it starts small, but as you start rewriting different belief systems, you start recognizing more and more things that you need to rewrite, more and more things that you need to reprogram in your mind to have a different belief system, because you need to be generating new thoughts, new ideas, and new realities in your life. And that's how you can really start working well, living well, and playing well. So I want to leave this thought with you. Go ahead and write down those feelings, write down the thoughts that come with them, and then let's try and uncover the belief system that's anchoring them for you so you can get released from that. And then, of course, we're going to then look at the actions we've been taking, and we can now have control over those actions. So we're not taking the cyclical actions where we're doing the same thing over and over again and asking ourselves, I can't believe I'm here again. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe this is happening to me. It's based on the belief system, and it's a whole cycle. So we're going to go through and unravel that so we can start having new choices, new realities, new experiences in our life, and live, work, and play well as we were meant to, activate our brilliance, and be the people we were meant to be on this planet. So I want to leave this with you today. Go ahead, be powerful, be impactful in your life, activate your brilliance so you can work, live, and play well. This is the This Is Release Show with Joyce Odidison. And check out our website at interpersonalwellness.com or joyceodidison.com for more information on how you can activate your brilliance so you can work, live, and play well. Bye now.